Okay, so we're going to continue. So we did some flash intro, basic. So I'm going to continue with tweening and nested tweening in particular, basic nested tweening. So we're going to create a face, and I'll do this fairly quickly. Let's see, yellow. So if we're doing a face, generally I would convert this to a symbol. Right click and I'd convert this to a symbol. My face, the very first thing on the scene. I create it to a symbol. Now I double click on it, and now I could actually create the object. So I'm going to create a circle, and I'm going to have an eye, and I'm going to put that on a separate layer. Eye, and I'll say left. And I'll do the so what I'm now going to do, I'm going to convert the eye into another symbol, convert to symbol, and I'll call this eye. And once again I'm going to put the pupil on there now. So I've got eye here, and I'm going to insert pupil. I'm going to draw another circle, which is going to be, say, grey. And I'm going to tween that. If you can remember, right click, insert frame, create motion tween. And what you may realize is suddenly the eye has disappeared because it's only on the very first frame. So you have to have everything on all the other frames. So I'm going to insert frame so it copies everything. And now I'm just going to move this left to right. And now go back to my scene 1. So remember, we can go back, or we could jump back to scene 1. Press Control Enter to publish, and our eye just goes quickly. So we're quickly doing this. So I've actually nested that. So I could double click, and I could copy this. I could do Control C, Control V, and now I could run this, and they'll both run, in sync. So it saved us a fair bit of time. So we've got two eyes, but in addition to that, remember why I created this face as a symbol? So I'll just change the name here, face. I could have this move around too, because it's one single object, but within that we have other objects. So I could have this, once again, right click, insert frame, and then I could say create motion tween. I can move it around, go to the very first frame, and I'm actually moving this around, and now you see this line with these points. These are actually representing the frames. So right here we're talking around 15th frame, just around here somewhere, I'm guessing here, but I can actually change that if I want to. And so you can make all kinds of changes here, or I can select a point here, 10, and I can move the object down. Now if we run that, we'll have the eyes moving and the face. Okay, it's happening so fast, so it's not a smooth transition, but you generally get the gist of why you wouldn't want to nest. So another example could be fingers. You could have the whole arm, and then you could have the fingers, all one single symbol. Then within that you could have some nested symbols. So that's actually good in terms of if you have an app which is going to have multiple animations built within it. So in addition to that, you could have a background, the BG. I could have the background. Let's actually change the stage color. So the stage color is currently set to white. We could change that to kind of a blue. Change. And maybe have the background here. We could have maybe kind of create a green hill or something. And you could see the BG is in front, so I need to move that layer down, and you can move layers up and down by just clicking on them and moving them down. So now we have this background. I want to move that to kind of like a hill, throw in a sun, kind of an orange color. Okay, now if we play that, and you know why the sun is in front, because the sun should be back here. Again, there you go, and you could start doing other wonderful things with that. So to do animation doesn't take that long, but right now we're unable to manipulate the object. We cannot actually change the color of our face to yellow, to I don't know, to green, or to some other color by some action or event. And that's where the scripting will come in. So just to give you an idea, how do we get to the scripting? You press F9. If you press F9, it will pop up with a scripting window. Now if you can remember, whenever we do Control Enter, this will just keep going on and on and on. It keeps cycling through. I don't want this animation to cycle through. I want it to stop at the end. To do that, we need to go to scripting. And what you can do is I'm going to create another layer, and I'm going to give it the name AS, referring to action scripting. So I could have the action script run at a particular frame. I could have the action script stop the movie on the very first frame if I want to, or have it stop at the very end. In our case, we'd like to stop this animation at the end. So I'm going to go to the 20th frame, right click. This time I'm going to insert a keyframe. So there is a difference between insert frame and a keyframe. I'm going to insert a keyframe, and you'll see that this frame is separate to the rest of our timeline for that layer. Now if I select frame 20, which is a keyframe, so right click, insert keyframe, and right on that layer press F9. Now type in stop, open brace, close brace with a semicolon. So stop is basically a set of instructions. It's going to tell the movie to stop at that particular frame. Semicolon is going to be on most of your code when you start doing that. It represents that this is the end of our line of code, the end of our instruction. Now if we press Control Enter, now our movie clip will only run once and it'll stop. Okay, so that face only runs once and it stops. But our nested will keep running because that cycles in. It's actually part of our eyes that we created. And now here we could have a continue button. So this could be our splash screen. So what we've created some form of animation, and then we could have an enter button. Enter button would be you click on it and then it goes to the next frame and it starts playing your movie or whatever your app is.